Let's just go ahead and call this video Wifey Material 2.0. I am making this video while walking my dog, so if you hear any background noise, that's what it is. Alright, so one of the last videos I made before I took my hiatus was a video called Wifey Material, in which I talked about how certain women make better wives than others, and a good clue is the way they dress. Now, the way they dress is not the end-all be-all as to whether or not they'll be a good mother, but it is a clue. Now, I know the saying goes you can't judge a book by its cover, but that has to be taken with a grain of salt. For me, what that means, and this is just my own 2 cents, is judging people for things that they don't choose, like their race or what country they come from, having an accent, their ethnicity, stuff like that. But when it comes to things that people choose, the way they dress, the people they choose to hang around, where they choose to go to church, where they choose to live, the occupation that they choose, then even though those things aren't the end-all be-all as to what that person is really about, they still are clues. Now, like I said in my Wifey Material video, women who are wives and mothers tend to dress a certain way. That's a little bit more conservative. I'm not talking about mom jeans and sweats, but just a little bit more conservative and not so much on display. They don't dress like they're still trying to attract somebody. Vanessa Bryant dresses like she's about to go to the club all the time, or like she's still trying to attract somebody. Like, I saw a picture of her and her family at one of those parades that they have when the teams win the championship. And usually, you know, people have on a t-shirt that has champions of 2000 whatever. I forgot what her daughters had on. I have to look at the picture again. I'm not at my computer right now. But she had on this dress that you would wear to a club. And before y'all get started, look, you can look nice. You can even look a little sexy. But there's a limit. You can't take it too far. And I don't want people to take this wrong, like I'm saying like she shouldn't dress like that or it's wrong to dress like that. I'm just talking to the guys that women who dress a certain way, that's a clue. She can dress however she wants to. It's not wrong. It's not right. But the clothes that people choose to put on their body is a clue about what type of person they are. It's not 100%. It's not always, you know, what you expect. But to totally throw it out and act like you can't tell anything by the way a person dresses, I mean, you can do that if you want to, but I'm not going to do it. Now, Kobe made several mistakes in getting married. For one, he got married too young. I mean, if you're a millionaire, decent looking guy, he doesn't do it for me, but he's a good looking guy. I could see why women would fall over him. He's a decent looking guy. Why would you get married that young? He hasn't even had a chance to sow his wild oats. And, you know, I do believe guys, if they're going to get married, they need time to do that. I mean, if they want to. I say a guy like that in the NBA, like, don't even think about getting married till, you know, like maybe 35. And if you meet a chick that you want to marry, now, of course, there are exceptions. If you really, really found a jewel, then you might want to go ahead and grab onto that before it gets away. But I seriously doubt, and I don't even have to seriously doubt it, Vanessa was not that jewel. So I'm not sure why he needed to latch on to this chick so quick. And then not only did he marry her too young, I think he married her too soon after meeting her. But I'm not sure about that one. But I'm assuming since he married so young, he couldn't have waited too long. But I mean, if this chick was so special, then why not date her for 5 years? He probably wouldn't be in any different of a situation. She just would have waited the 10 years whenever he married her. But at least it would have pushed it back some. I mean, she's basically, and I know she's got kids, but she's still young. And I think if she wants to remarry, which I doubt she does because then the alimony would stop. But I mean, she still can get with another guy. And there will be plenty of guys who are willing to accept her 2 kids because she's going to have a lot of money coming to her. So, I mean, I don't even know what her dating habits were. I don't know if she exclusively liked black guys or if she likes all guys or if she would go back to Latino guys. I assume she's a Latino. But, yeah, just imagine if she takes all this guy's money and gets with a Latino guy. That's going to burn. But let me get off of that because I don't want to turn this into a racial thing. I'm going to stick with the Wifey Material thing. All right, so let's look how Vanessa handled the marriage. I forget how long they've been married when he went through the rape scandal, but she supported him through that, and he bought her a big-ass ring, I guess, to apologize for it. So she stayed with him through that, but then right around the 10-year mark, right around the time when the law considers it to be a long-term marriage, and therefore the woman is entitled to a lot more of the man's assets, that's when she decides to divorce him. Now, I want somebody to argue that that's a coincidence, or that she didn't know that. Even her former stepfather, which you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, because he might just be upset because her mother basically did the same thing to him, taking a lot of money away from him in alimony, which I think he has to pay to her until she remarries, which of course she's not going to do. But anyway, even her former father-in-law says that she learned well from her mother. He says that her mother taught her to wait 10 years. Now, again, this guy could just be mad, but there is evidence to support what he's saying. She did wait the 10 years. And some people are saying, well, maybe she just finally got fed up. Okay, I mean, you can believe that if you want to. Not fool anybody over here. And like I said in one of my other videos, women who marry a certain type of man, and I'm not talking about a race issue, a certain type of man as in rich men, famous men, powerful men. I'm not saying they should accept cheating, but they should at least expect it. I mean, you've got a young, rich, decent-looking guy. Of course women are going to throw themselves at him. And I think these men need to stop playing and just get honest with themselves and admit that I think every person knows whether or not they can be faithful. So if you know you can't be faithful and you know whether you can or can't, then maybe you need to talk to the chicks that you're going to marry. Or I would suggest you don't get married at all. But if you just for some reason need to marry somebody, you need to have an arrangement. You need to talk about that up front. Write it into some kind of a prenup or something. Write a contract up. I mean, when you have millions of dollars and you're famous, you're not a regular person. So you're not going to be in a regular marriage. And so I think the rules should not be regular. Now, of course, nobody really thinks they're going to get caught when they cheat, but it's definitely a possibility. So you should just bank on it. And also, you know that when you have millions of dollars and you're famous and even good looking, there's going to be a lot of women going to be interested in you just because you have money. So if you're going to marry one, don't be stupid and give them a reason to divorce you by cheating. I mean, that's just effing stupid. You can't even blame the girl. I mean, if you're going to, people shouldn't steal, but if you're going to leave your keys in your Bugatti, what do you expect? All right, so anyway, he married too young, he married too soon, and he cheated, and also, he married the wrong type of chick. Now, I'm not going to really hold this against Kobe too badly, besides the fact that he married too young and married her too soon, because there was no way for him to take a clue from her style of dress, because back when he married her, they were both young, so the way she dressed was appropriate. But when you fast forward 10 years into the future and this chick is still wearing the same stuff that she was 10 years ago, or that a woman 10 years her junior would be wearing, still dressing like you're going to the club, still dressing like you're trying to attract a man, that ought to be a clue for you guys. Again, Kobe missed it because he married too young, but this is what I'm telling you. That's what I was trying to tell Sergeant Willie Pete, but he's not going to listen, and he's going to be Kobe Bryant in a few years. Wifeys have a certain look. Now, of course, whenever I make videos like these, especially talking about a non-black woman, you know what accusations follow. So I'll just use another non-black example, Heidi Klum. Now, Heidi Klum is pretty, and of course she's not black, and she's married to a black man, but she looks like a wife and a mother. And you can see, now granted, they don't take as many pictures of Kobe Bryant and Vanessa because Vanessa is, I assume she's Latino. And even if she is white, she's one of the darker whites that can get confused for a Latino or whatever. So the media, they don't film black men with black women or even non-black, non-white women as much as they do white women. So there's not going to be as many photos of her. But there are numerous photos of Heidi Klum just, you know, hugging her children, doing different activities with them. And I can imagine Heidi Klum actually going home and cooking meals for her family. Now, she probably doesn't. I don't know if they do or not, but they probably got to cook. But still, you could imagine that she does. Whereas Vanessa, not only does she not look like she cooks, she don't look like she does the laundry. She looks like somebody that they probably hired a maid and they do all her wifely duties for her because she probably wouldn't want to get her nails dirty or mess up her nails. Now, I could understand why Heidi Klum would need a cook because she actually does have a career. But this Vanessa chick, what does she do besides nothing? I mean, she does not have to work. All she got to do is tend to them kids. So if I were Kobe, there wouldn't be any excuse for her not to cook and do all the cleaning. If he asked her to do that and she's talking about, well, why don't we get a maid, we can afford it, then that would be another clue. Kobe's going out there busting his ass, not only on the basketball court, but you have to work out and you have to practice and all this stuff, and you just going to sit at home on your ass? Got a maid and a cook? And of course, I don't know whether they did or not, but just judging on the piece of information, it's not just her clothing, the timing of the divorce. And like I said, Heidi Klum and Seal, they look like they're in love. And even when Tiger Woods was with his wife, they looked like they were in love. And by the way, also, she looked like a wifey and a mother too. Both Heidi Klum and Tiger's ex, they looked nice and even sexy to a certain degree, but they didn't go overboard with it. And they didn't look like they were headed to the club. And they didn't look like they were still trying to pick up a guy. And I know it sounds sexy and desirable to want a woman who, wants every hair in place all the time and keeps a manicure and a pedicure and won't even go to the store without makeup on. That sounds nice, but that is a huge clue into what type of person she is. Being so obsessed with your looks and being a good mother, those two things don't mix. I'm not saying it can't be done, but still, like I'm saying, people who do that, that's a clue into their personality. And you need to look at that. And you men who keep ignoring stuff like this are going to learn the hard way. Some women look really nice on your arm. They're nice to show off and, make you look like you're the man. But they don't make good wives. Some women make good wives, but not good mothers. Some women make good mothers, but not good wives. And granted, you'll never really know what you got until you go ahead and buy the farm. But at least look at the clues. The way a woman dresses, the way the woman carries herself, gives you a clue into what kind of wife she will be. And another thing, just because a woman caters to you still doesn't mean she's going to make a good wife, especially if you got money. I mean, a woman would be stupid if she's going to, she's trying to bag a guy with a lot of money and she's going to not cater to him. I mean, if he's bringing money to the table, then the woman has to bring something else to the table besides cooch. So of course she's going to kiss your ass. Of course she's going to rub your shoulders. Come on, you got to move past that. You got to look at other things. Now, when I made my first wifey material video, I used Kim Kardashian as an example of a woman who doesn't dress like a wife. And it's funny because when I made that video, she was just about to get married to Chris Humphries. And people were taking that and using it. See, I told you, you know what you're talking about. She fixing to get married. Yeah, Kim Kardashian is too much of a young, hot piece of ass to be tied down to one man right now. Just like there's such a thing as a man not being ready to be married, there's such a thing as a woman not being ready to be married, and that's her. A lot of Kardashian's appeal is in being single. Number one, because on her show, every time she starts dating a new guy or a new guy comes to her life, that's a new storyline that's added to the show. If she's married, that goes away. Also, if she's married, she can't make another sex tape to boost her popularity if she needs to, so she needs to leave herself open for that as well. And also, as a single woman, even though most of the men, the civilian, everyday men, are never going to meet her or have a chance to date her, her being single still gives them the hope or gives the possibility to them that they could have her. And that's why she dresses the way she dresses. She dresses like she's still trying to entice men. If she's married, then, she won't make the covers of magazines every time she switches boyfriends. And also, once you get married, the only really next big step you could do is like having a baby. And I just don't think she's the mommy type, at least not right now. One more thing. Since I make audios more so than videos, some of you probably start the player playing and you look away and do something else. Well, look at the screen right now.